What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to keep up to date with the community Flat Earth Debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and join the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below this video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Zinda, The Plain Truth, Sleeping Warrior, Science Guy, Paul, Mark, Flatten Earth, Eric, and Chocolate saying, good to have you all.
Hello.
Hello. What?
Good morning.
Good morning. Right, let's see how well this goes. Any signs of curvature?
Oh, do we do housekeeping again? Sorry.
Any signs of curvature? We're doing something called housekeeping.
Unfortunately, if there's a baller on the panel, he usually gets asked these questions directly because we all know the answers to them, but the ballers tend to not believe us. So when we ask these questions, we're going to aim them at you, not because it's you, just because of your position in this discussion. So is there any signs of curvature?
That would be you, Science Guy.
So I'm expecting to do a response. I've no idea. And like I said, I'd really like to talk just about gravity. So the other
we have housekeeping first, sir. This is your religion that we're challenging. So is there any evidence of curvature, please? If there's not, just say no.
No evidence at all. No idea.
Right. Nathan?
I mean, isn't that an issue for you, considering you live on a ball in your mind?
No, you said no, Nathan. I'm all right with that. Let him just say no.
Fine.
Because we'll get to the gravity question as well.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can have the discussion.
Okay. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety? Anybody at all? A whole panel full of you.
Science Guy, this is aimed at you.
No.
Again, not that I'm aware of.
So,
excellent.
Again, so you're a scientist here to defend the ball religion, and you have nothing to offer in terms of evidence of Earth curve and evidence that we rotate. You've got nothing for either of those two things.
No.
Wow. Why do you think you live on a ball exactly?
Oh, because you see pictures from space.
Sorry, space is a second law of thermodynamics violation. You can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum.
Oh, and that also would be evidence of curvature too, though. By the way, that would be evidence.
So if you want, we can talk about this as well. So I'm happy to talk about the issues that you guys have with.
Well, can we not prove points rather than talk about points? Because we're just trying to establish what scientific evidence there is to support particular assertions. Let's not talk about it. Let's just prove it.
Any evidence that you can have a gas pressure without a container, for example.
Don't be silly, Nathan. Can't have gas pressure without a container. Do you think you can have gas pressure without a container, Science Guy?
Yes, you can.
Oh, really?
How
can
do
you
have
demonstrate
gas
that? Or
without a container?
Yes. Absolutely.
How are you going to do that then?
So again, an excellent example is wind is localized increased pressure.
And that's the effect. What's the cause of the wind?
Presumably.
Sorry. That's not a demonstration of. Sorry, that's not gas pressure without a container.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what we're asking for. Gas pressure without a container.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so so can you you've already said that you've got pictures from space. I said it's a second law of thermodynamics violation. Then Anthony explained that we do housekeeping. Then I asked one of the housekeeping questions. Is there any demonstration of gas pressure being maintained without a container? So, do you have a demonstration of gas pressure being maintained without a container?
Do I have something that I could show you guys? Well, the atmosphere is the obvious
That's a
one.
fundy belief, isn't it? So you're now going to assert your fundy
it's-
belief about what the atmosphere does?
So so I'm happy to talk about. I'm very happy to talk about thermodynamics if you guys want.
Yeah, okay, cool. Can you tell us an answer to a question, specifically this question? Is it possible to maintain gas pressure without a container?
Yes.
Not just yes.
Remember, the scientific method here is in play.
So this is where if you want, I can explain this to you guys. But it is so the issue is that when you guys talk about the second law of thermodynamics is you're forgetting a very important part of this discussion. So second law of thermodynamics, yeah, it's all real. The issue is when you guys talk about the motion of atoms and molecules, and you guys often you forget a very important bit, which is the enthalpy. Talking about chemical differences and chemical events, you should be talking about Gibbs free energy, but Gibbs is not particularly applicable here, right? But basically, one of the most important equations in chemistry is sort of directs whether atoms and molecules do stuff, right? So it's the direction of spontaneous change is Gibbs free energy. And Gibbs free energy is delta G, right? Is equal to delta H minus T delta L, T delta S. Entropy is included, but the point of Gibbs free energy is if you have got an enthalpic contribution, right? If you've got energy from somewhere, then you can overcome entropy. So so you can have what may look like apparent violations of the second law, but it's not. The whole point is you can locally decrease entropy, no problem. The most easy example is that you can freeze water. Humans, we're extremely far from equilibrium. So when you guys just talk about thermodynamics, you're forgetting enthalpy, and that's key, and that's the problem.
Okay,
so
that's
explain
water.
how
Hold on, Anthony.
enthalpy is.
So does that
No
demonstrate
problem.
gas pressure without a container?
Yeah. So for instance, so if I breathe in, yeah, if I breathe in, so open my mouth and breathe in, I'm applying energy. I'm creating local reduced pressure relative to the air outside.
Yeah, that doesn't demonstrate gas pressure without a container. Hello, Anon.
So
Hold on 1 second. Hello, Anon.
Can I ask
Can
a
you hear us?
question?
Hold on.
Hey,
Hello.
what's up?
Good to have you.
so similarly, if I breathe out, right, I temporarily have increased pressure in my lungs relative to the outside. So what happens, and this is where we're going to get to the interesting bit, what happens, of course, all the air rushes out. And so it's a temporary thing, right? So the air does move out.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're
Can I ask a
applying a
question about
force
that?
to the air. I understand that. So how do we have gas pressure without a container?
So the whole point, so you're totally right. So basically, so if all you had, right, and this is, we're going to come back to the same gravity argument, right? If all you had,
Sorry, there's quite a lot of background noise. Can everyone go on mute?
Sorry guys, I have to
Sorry.
take a call 1 second. Sorry, bye. Hello? Yeah, speaking.
I've muted him for his own.
Oh,
I've
damn
muted
you.
him for his own benefits. Right.
I'd like to know, are your lungs a container or not? I was wondering about that question. That's what I was
Yes,
asking.
yes, they are.
Would your lungs
Well, I was going to ask him the same shit.
Yeah, yes, they are. Yes. Also, there's work being done.
What's up, everybody?
The chat's frozen. Damn you, chat. Fine. Nothing to see here. It's
Think
not
you need
happening.
to-
It's not happening.
Mine is still going.
No, I mean, it's going in the live stream. I just haven't got it up on the picture that's being presented to the audience. If
I think
anybody
you need to
super
ask
chatted,
him
I'm
if-
really sorry if I didn't shout you out. I'm going to go and have a look now to see if anybody has. Bear with me a second. No, nobody has.
I think we need to ask him if the atmospheric system that we live in, is it an open or closed system? Start that question out.
Oh no, please don't.
Why you don't like that question, Zinder?
Well, because last time there was a discussion like 2.5 hours about the stupid definition. So
Why? Because Kosho doesn't understand the difference?
No.
it doesn't.
No, because the
doesn't
actual definition leaves them with a problem. The problem is that if they say it's a closed system, how the hell are they getting to the moon? And if they say it's an open system, how the hell is the gas staying here? So they've got a bit of a problem either way.
Well, human body is an open system, isn't
Who
it?
gives a crap?
Well, so how
Talking
is
about
blood
your
staying
fundamentalist
inside
belief,
my body?
Zinder, we're talking about a fundamentalist belief about what Earth is, and you've got a problem because if you claim it's a closed system, then how the hell are you getting to the moon or Mars or putting satellites out into outer space? However, if you say it's an open system, then the gas would fill the space. So basically, this is a problem for globeheads because you're screwed both ways.
Why would it? I mean,
I'll say it again, no worries.
My body is an open system.
Yeah, we're not talking about your body, you stupid dick. I'll say it again because Zinder just wants to talk about a straw man. Yeah, we're not talking about the body. We're talking about your fundamentalist zealot belief that Earth is a ball with gas on the outside in a vacuum, and apparently, at the moment, that's classed as an open system, in which case you have the second law of thermodynamics that would dictate that the gas would fill the space. You also have this new faction like Kosho that wants to claim it's a closed system, in which case matter's not escaping. Well, rockets count as matter, satellites count as matter, so you're fucked either way.
So what makes you think that the second law of thermodynamics would make the gas rush into outer space?
Because that's what it is. That's what the second law of thermodynamics is. High pressure systems to low pressure systems. Yeah, high energy to low energy. Well, gas with pressure is definitely high energy. And a 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum is definitely low energy. And the gas would fill the space. That's why it's a problem, Zinder. I thought you got this at a fundamental level. Obviously not. Slow.
Oh, sure. So,
Sorry, guys, I was on a call. Sorry.
So the pressure gradient kind of disagrees with the second law of the
No, it doesn't.
thermodynamics.
No, pressure gradient doesn't agree. So we've had these
with
conversations loads of times, Zinder. How do you have a gas pressure gradient without a container? Because that basically craps all over your straw man.
Well, it's the second law.
The second law doesn't change the fact that the necessary antecedent to have pressure doesn't change if you insert this word gradient. Yeah, the antecedent is still required. It still needs something to press upon. It's still pressure.
We talked completely over each other because once I started to talk, you interrupted me.
Yeah, because the gas pressure gradient still has the word pressure in there. So it still needs the necessary antecedent of something to bloody press upon, even though you're saying it's gradiated. That's no problem. There's plenty of demonstrations of gas pressure gradients in a container. They still require the antecedent of a container, Zinder. So this is a straw man. It doesn't address the point.
Of the same gas? Of the same gas constellation? Like, when you go up in the air, you probably have the same amount of oxygen, of hydrogen, of carbon, and of nitrogen.
So we are going to go on this straw man. You're not going to acknowledge what I've just said. You're not going to acknowledge that the necessary antecedent for a gas pressure gradient is still going to be a container. For the gas to press and be pressure, it's got to have a container. Sorry, Zinder. It doesn't matter if it's gradiated or not. If it didn't have a container, the gas would fill the space by way of entropy.
So this is
no,
I mentioned this.
Sorry, it's invalid. You go on. Sorry.
You guys are forgetting something. So second law of thermodynamics is important, but you have to consider the enthalpy contribution as well. You have to be talking about, even Gibbs is not fully applicable here, but Gibbs free energy is more relevant here. You can't just talk about entropy. You have to talk about other factors, right?
Why not?
Because
why not? What's wrong with saying the gas would fill the available space that becomes available to it? What's wrong with that statement?
Because that's only part of the argument. So, and the example is, right, so here's the example, right? So if I've got a container that's open, right, yeah, and I put a gas in it, yeah, and I put a vacuum outside it, great, all the gas is going to go out. Totally like you guys say, right? in agreement. If I take, so let's just take, let's say we've got nitrogen in this container, right? And I freeze it to about minus 300 degrees Celsius.
Why would we do that? Is that what we have? Is that what I'm breathing? Am I breathing frigging frozen nitrogen? Or am I just breathing? Am I just breathing gas that's not frozen? Is it in a gaseous state or a frozen state when you freeze it? Listen to me. I'm asking. Is it frozen now?
No, but there is effects of temperature, and so but temperature is not the only one. You have to take into account other forces of attraction. If there was no gravity, I fully agree. The atmosphere would slowly bleed away.
So hold on. So
Yeah.
have you validated scientifically that we do have gravity or not? Because
so
to my
in fact,
memory, before you talk all over me, to my memory, you've not given us scientific evidence for gravity, just your fundy beliefs about it. So what you're saying is, if I have gravity, something that I have not given any scientific validity to, then I can have gas pressure without a container. Okay, what I'm going to do as a special treat for you, because you need concessions, you're a scientist, right? I'm going to give it you and say, no worries. Demonstrate gas pressure being maintained without a container by means of gravity. Off you go.
the atmosphere.
Sorry, not your fundy belief about what the world does. I want a demonstration of this force that I'm now saying, fine, I'll give it you. I'll give you that force of gravity, sunshine. That's on me, that is. You need that concession, don't you? Even though we argued about it for an hour and you, the scientist, didn't provide any scientific validity to it, I'm saying now, no worries, you can have that on me. Now give me gas pressure being maintained without a container by way of gravity. Show me that. Not your fundy belief about what the world does.
So can we go back to talking about gravity?
No, I'm saying I've given it you. You got it. There you go. On me. Did you not just listen to what I just said to you?
Yeah, so no, so the answer is me.
So you got it. You got it then.
Yeah, me personally, right now, I can't demonstrate it. Of course I can't.
Has it been demonstrated ever?
Yes. That you can condense gas.
Can you show us that?
No, I can't show you. But I've seen it, for instance. I've seen it.
But did you say you can condense gas?
Yeah.
So it's condensed. So you've done something to it. It's not just regular gas pressure like we all know and love and experience here then. So you're going to do something to it that's to change its state to make your argument work. Yeah.
I'm going to lower the temperature slightly, yeah.
Why? We just have gas pressure here. It's just normal, regular, atmospheric gas pressure. We're all breathing it right now. And given that, even with the concession of gravity, you cannot demonstrate gas pressure being maintained without a container, I'm going to assert that space is fake. You can't have it. It defies the second law of thermodynamics. And given you've given no rebuttal to that, and in fact conceded that you cannot demonstrate it, I'm going to say, well, therefore it's just a fundy belief. Space is fake.
So firstly, I'm very happy to accept that everything I think is a belief. I have no problem with that. Okay, so again, my point is I wasn't here to try and prove things to you guys. I don't care about that. I'm more interested in figuring out how you guys think it all works. But in terms of the argument of can you have gas pressure without a container, so you can demonstrate it. In fact, it happens all the time. But the problem is the difference in pressures that you'd observe.
Where does it happen all the time? Stop. Don't just declare it. It happens all the time. You're a fucking scientist. Shut up! Shut up! You're a scientist. Now, you've just asserted, as a scientist, that this happens all the time. Gas pressure without a container specifically.
Yeah.
So, if it happens all the time, show it us right now.
Okay. Get an empty cup and blow hard into it, and you temporarily have an increased pressure in there relative to the atmosphere.
Sorry, is a cup a container?
Well, it's an open container.
Sorry, was that a yes?
Well, so actually, no.
A cup's not a container. Are you a
It's not-
retard? Excuse me,
not-
don't talk. Are you a retard?
No.
So a cup is not a container.
A cup is not a sealed container.
Sorry. You've just added this word to get around your stupidity. So, I'll ask one more time for the scientist. Is a cup a container?
Yes.
Oh, right. So your stupidity has led you to not answer my question of can you have gas pressure without a container?
Okay, so you don't even need a cup.
It's
in that
not
case, is it?
okay, science boy. I'll ask again. Can you demonstrate gas pressure being maintained by way of gravity without a container?
So yes, again, the atmosphere.
Sorry, that's your fundy belief about what the world does. The reason we are asking for this demonstration is because your fundy belief is that the Earth has a second law of thermodynamics violation, i.e. gas pressure next to a vacuum. Now, I don't want to hear for a third time about your fundamentalist belief in this. I want you to put your little scientist hat on and demonstrate gas pressure without a container.
So I can't demonstrate gas pressure personally over the internet. But what I was going to say is that you're totally right. Yeah?
Sorry,
So
I didn't ask you to stutter and say you can't demonstrate gas pressure.
Okay, fine. If you,
You don't seem to be comprehending what I'm saying because you stuttered and said, I'm not going to demonstrate gas pressure over the internet. That's not what I asked for. So are you having trouble comprehending what I'm asking for? Because you didn't repeat it back correctly.
What did you want me to? Yeah, sorry, I'm having trouble comprehending.
Yes, I can tell. Can you, the person claiming to be a scientist who has a fundamentalist religious belief in Earth being a sphere with gas attached in a vacuum, demonstrate that we can actually have that second law of thermodynamics violation by showing a gas pressure being maintained by way of this fictional force of gravity without a container. Did I say it slow enough?
Okay, so a nice example is the fact that at the top of Everest or wherever it is, the atmosphere is about a tenth. So between here and Everest, there's a factor of tenfold of pressure differential with no container.
Sorry, so you're saying there's pressure?
I'm saying there's pressure.
Okay, and that the necessary antecedent, we would all agree that for pressure is something to press upon, correct? It's a pretty simple question. I just need you to say yes, because we all agree that the necessary antecedent for pressure is something to press upon. Do we not, chemist?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we do agree. Excellent. So in your fundamentalist religious belief about what Earth is, at the top of this gradient, what's the very top pressure pressing on?
So at the very top, and this is where it gets interesting exactly, is that it's basically what is being pressed on. It's not being pressed on, but it's being held down by gravity.
Sorry, we've had no scientific validity to gravity, have we? And I've asked for a demonstration of gas pressure being maintained by way of gravity, and you've made it very clear that you cannot demonstrate that. So what you're now going to do is, again, use your fundamentalist religious belief to assert what you believe about the Earth is in fact true. So you're a fucking zealot, not a scientist.
I'd say you're a zealot.
Do you agree? Fine, I'm happy to accept all these criticisms. Do you guys agree that between ground level and the top of the Himalayas, that is demonstrate pressure differential?
So what was that word? Sorry, pressure, did you say?
Pressure differential.
So
yeah.
we've just gone through this 30 seconds ago, and we both agreed that the necessary antecedent would be something to press upon, didn't we? We both agreed that. Just say yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I asked you what it's pressing on the top, and you didn't tell us.
Gravity.
It's not pressing on gravity now, is it? At the top At the top, Sunshine.
Yeah.
What's it pressing on up there? Is it, by chance, a 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum? Because it can't press on that. It would disperse into it.
It's pressing against gravity.
Sorry, there's no scientific validity to gravity. And even if I gave it you, you wouldn't be able to demonstrate that that's true now, would you? Again, this was now 20 seconds instead of a minute that we got you to circle jerk us again. So I'll ask the question again. It's getting quicker and quicker and quicker. Let's see if we can get this pace up. See how quickly we can get this muppet in circles. So what's it pressing on? What's it pressing on? What's it pressing on at the top of your religious belief of Earth in space?
So this is why I wanted to ignore all of this long preamble and go straight back to talking about gravity. This is exactly so we all know how this conversation goes because you do it every single day on the show. I want to go back to talking about gravity.
Okay, give us your scientific evidence for gravity.
So what I wanted to do is go back to the example of what happens when we drop a mixture of oils.
No.
This is very
no.
It really is.
We've already done it, and I've said no. We're not. No. Stop talking. No. I know you don't like the word no, but it's tough luck. We've gone through this, and I've already got this going round in a circle 5 times on the last show, haven't I? So relative density is agreed upon on both sides and doesn't change in either instance of our discussion. However, you've got a fundy extra bit where you arbitrarily assign down and then give it a force that you've got no scientific validity for. So to get around that, we need something empirical. And what we have on offer to give us empirical proof of this is a method that you're supposed to be disciplined in. That would be science. So I'll ask again, give me your scientific evidence of gravity.
Okay, you're going to shout at me, but here it goes anyway. If you drop a bottle containing a mixture of oil and water off a building and it doesn't separate...
We're really going to go back to the same point, bro?
Let him formulate the logical fallacy because he's going to do it for me. He's going to put the full formal logical fallacy together right now.
Come on.
No, that's what I said. So if I drop a bottle which is mixed with oil and water off a building and it doesn't separate whilst it's falling... No, sorry, and it does separate whilst it's falling, then gravity doesn't exist. Can we say it one more time?
Why is that not an affirming the consequent form of logical fallacy?
Because it's not affirming the consequence, because...
Yes, it is. If P, then Q, Q, therefore P. If I drop a bottle off a building, I will observe a certain effect happening or not happening. I do observe this effect happening or not happening, therefore gravity is real. So this is absolutely, unequivocally, the logical fallacy known as affirming the consequent. If P, then Q, Q, therefore P. The problem with this... I haven't finished. I have not finished.
Right.
The problem with this logical fallacy is that one thing does not necessarily follow the other. So you assert that if you drop this bottle, you will observe an effect. And if you observe this effect, then gravity is real. You then throw the bottle off, observe the effect, and declare that you've proven gravity. Now, the first problem is that it is, as both me and Anthony have pointed out, an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy. If P, then Q, Q, therefore P.
It's also
and I still haven't finished. Also, it's not scientific evidence. It's not a formulated hypothesis. It's not backed by systematic experimentation. It's not establishing a cause and effect. We went through all of this on the last show, asshole.
So firstly, I didn't
acknowledge what I've just said. We've just gone through it again, and I want you to acknowledge it. I don't want to circle jerk forever. Acknowledge that we not only have just gone through it now, it is a formal logical fallacy, it is not scientific evidence, and we went through all of this on the last show. Please acknowledge what I've just said.
Oh, I definitely acknowledge we went through it on the last show for sure, but it's because I'd really like to talk about the mechanism. I'd really like to dispense with all sorts of the arguments about what isn't scientific. Can we just talk about it, or is that not possible?
No,
Oh yeah, let's have a little heart-to-heart about our fundy beliefs in gravity. Let's have a little talk about it, scientist. Yeah, let's sit round a table and discuss it together. No, you're a scientist. Give me science.
So this is my experiment, right? This is one. Is you go to something which is half oil, half water, and see what happens.
Excellent. This is an experiment. This is a hypothesis test.
No, so again, like I said, you don't always need a
Is that a yes? This is an experiment, a hypothesis test.
It's an experiment, not a hypothesis test.
That's what an experiment is. You're definitely not a scientist.
I'll give you an example if you want.
No, don't, because I now think you're a fraud. Because
I
for
think
you
you're a
to
fraud.
declare
Okay.
that... shut up. I'm going to kick you out if you keep talking over
Sorry,
me.
go on. Sorry.
If you declare, quite boldly so, that an experiment is not a hypothesis, I'm going to claim you're a fraud. You're not a
I
scientist.
agree.
So
I agree. I think you're a fraud.
I'm very happy if you guys think I'm a fraud. I actually don't care. But so
No. Now we're gonna grill you on how, because either there's one of two situations here. Either you're not a fraud, and in which case whoever has put you through education needs to be stripped also. You definitely need to be stripped of any accreditation you have. But whoever's taught you also needs to be stripped. That's the first problem. If, on the other hand, you are just a fraud, we want to expose you as such. We no longer want any discussion on this matter. The only discussion we want with you, science guy, is how valid your claim of being a scientist is. So now let's back that claim.
of how I'm a real scientist. Well, I'm not going to reveal my identity on the internet.
Well, you don't need to reveal your identity, but it would help if you were able to demonstrate competence with the scientific method, given that you're a scientist.
Yeah.
Why don't we just discuss the scientific method and see where he fails, Nathan?
I explained to you guys that the scientific method is not something which is relevant to science.
Give us the scientific
Shut you
method.
dickhead.
Give it us.
What the hell are you talking about?
He's not a scientist, he's a liar.
He's not a scientist. You're a
fraud.
fraud.
Okay, can I give you guys an example?
No,
When...
didn't you listen a moment ago when I said I don't want any more examples from you because we think you're a fraud, based on the fact that you declared quite boldly that an experiment is not a hypothesis test. Now, that alone tells me you're a fraud.
Oh my goodness.
It's not always a hypothesis. Sometimes it is.
Okay, so where's the exception then? What's the authority for the exception?
Citation,
I'll give you an
please.
example. Yeah, am I allowed to give the example, Nathan?
Citation.
What citation for what?
A citation
It's not.
for an example where an experiment is not a hypothesis test. Citation,
Well, I can give you a
please.
citation if you want. Absolutely. So, Nature Physics 2006. Let me just find it.
This sounds like someone that we're familiar with. Is this Jimmy?
No, it's definitely not Jimmy at all.
Anybody disagree with me? This sounds a lot like Jimmy.
That's not relevant.
Jimmy is genuinely. So, let me just find the full citation, please.
Tell us what the scientific method
I can
is.
show you the Skype conversation where I called this was Jimmy like over an hour ago with Mark Doxey. I said, this sounds like Jimmy to me.
Okay.
It does sound like Jimmy.
I'm happy to, if you want, I'm happy to email one of you guys some proof if you guys actually want, by the way, genuinely. But I don't want to say it over the internet, obviously.
Okay, no worries. Nathan Oakley, 1980 at AOL.com.
1 second, let me write it down.
No worries.
Nathan what?
Nathan Oakley, NATHANOAKLEY,
Yeah,
1980
yeah.
at AOL.com.
And what kind of evidence would you like me to send you?
So Travis thinks
whatever
this
you
is
like.
the thing as well then.
Whatever you like.
But even if it's just...
I will
okay,
not
I'll try and
reveal
make-
your personal information. It will not get displayed on screen. I will open it on my iPad on a separate machine. It will not get displayed to the public, and I will not disclose it.
Okay. Do you want me to do it after the show then? Or...
No, I want you to send it me now so I can check it while the show's running to see if you are or not a fraud. I suspect you are. Well, let's see based on what you send me.
No, so in all honesty, so I'm happy to have to think about what, because I don't want you to know my full name. So I'll think of a way of doing it if you want. But you can rest assured I'll send you something that would hopefully prove that. Is that good enough?
Nathan, do you think this is Jimmy, or do you not? Are you not sure?
I don't care. I know he's a fraud. I know he's definitely not a scientist. To
I agree
declare
he's a
that,
fraud.
to
Honestly,
declare an
I don't think
experiment,
it's Jimmy.
and that, well, that's just maybe. To declare an experiment's not a hypothesis test tells me instantaneously he's a fraud.
So all I'm saying is it's not always. I'm not saying sometimes, sometimes, but the example says
Citation
What's the
needed.
exception, please?
Citation
Okay, so-
needed. Citation, please.
citation: Nature Physics, David Goodstein, 2007, Volume 3, page 509.
Provide a link, please.
How do I do that?
Copy and paste.
And then how do I send that to you? If you see what I mean.
Are you on a computer
side
or a
chat?
phone?
No, I'm not on the side chat because I can't log in because I haven't got a YouTube account. A way of chatting just directly
No,
on
no.
the.
Are you on a computer?
Yeah.
You are.
It's in the
Just wave-
Hangout.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
right, I
wave.
can do it there. There we
Just
go.
wave your mouse over the Hangouts page,
Yeah.
and on the
Got
left-hand
it.
side there'll be a few boxes appear. The top one is the chat box.
Just sent it.
Okay, yeah, I've got it up. Did you grab that too, Anthony?
Pardon? What?
Just
You guys
pop
can't
in the
open it.
chat.
Let me know because I'm after in the PDF because you guys might not have institutional access to.
Sorry,
Nature
this
Channel.
doesn't seem to have anything on it.
What do you mean?
Yeah, it doesn't show anything on my end either. I'm looking at it.
There's
I don't
nothing
see
on this.
anything.
There's no citation here.
You need a subscription or something for it.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So if you want, you guys know how to use Sci-Hub.
Sorry, you sent me a link. I looked at it. There's no citation on there, so I don't know what you're reading from, but I'm certainly not seeing the same thing that you're about to read from.
You guys haven't got. You haven't got subscriptions to all the academic journals.
You're mumbling. I can't hear you.
You guys haven't got access to the scientific journals. I would have hoped this article would have been open access. But do you guys know how to use Sci-Hub?
Obviously
Sorry.
not, given that it sounds like it's an academic institutional thing. Shut up, Mickey. In here, come on.
Okay. If you want, this website is very useful because this lets you get any academic paper, Sci-Hub, without having to pay for it. So you guys will actually probably enjoy it. So let me see if I can just get the DOI on
That's
this
very
one.
handy. Thank you very much. Did you grab that, Anthony?
No, I'm busy playing Command and Conquer because this guy's not really going anywhere, and I'm not prepared to come out of my game for the benefit of him at this point. If somebody else could substitute, it would be great.
The link I
I just
sent
love
you.
how we, the peasants, have to pay for this knowledge that.
Well, which is why I'm sharing Sci-Hub with you guys. So Sci-Hub is extremely powerful.
Yeah, we're still waiting for a citation where an experiment is not a hypothesis test.
Right? Yeah. No, so Sci-Hub is just so you guys can get access to these journals.
Yeah, but thank you very much.
Oh yeah, that's that Russian site, right? That was
That's
set up by
fantastic.
that lady.
Yeah. And anyway, and then so what you want to do is you go to Sci-Hub and then you want to input that DOI in there. It's just all about the scientific method.
It's not about the scientific method, did you say?
Oh, 1 second. Sorry, it's just someone's at my door. 1 sec.
What is the DOI? What's the number?
So,
Yeah, I was discussing with someone.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Just while he's away from the mic.
I
I
just-
don't think this guy's Jimmy.
I don't know if this is just because it's on the last fight.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I think I can establish that it's not Jimmy just by asking his ethnicity, which he may or may not want to disclose, but I think that'll prove.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It's good. Okay, that's very good. Awesome. Yeah, I can't shit like that.
I just love how Sci-Hub, we pay for the research, but then you actually have to pay for the documents. They steal the money, they fund the research from taxpayers, and then you
Hi,
have
sorry
to pay.
guys, someone's coming to my office.
Just, can I ask you a personal question? You don't have to answer this.
Sure.
What's your ethnicity?
Why is that important?
I'll tell you why. Because I suspect that you are not the ethnicity of somebody else who's been on the panel that other people are accusing you of being. That's why I ask.
So I don't. In order, I'd rather really not rather give any personal information if that's okay.
No, fair enough.
Yeah. I know it's being very paranoid.
What about if I asked you to confirm that you're not a certain ethnicity? Would you be willing to do that?
Yes, I think so.
Are you white British?
Yes, but not originally. If that helps.
Yeah, kind
You
of.
can't change your ethnicity.
No, oh, fine. In that case, if Disney, no, I'm not British.
Right, that's enough for me to tell you that it's not Jimmy.
Okay.
I'd agree.
I was born abroad. That I'm willing to say.
Yeah, I'm pretty well travelled. I don't want to disclose any information either, but yeah, okay, fine. Let's move on. It's not Jimmy. Okay, guys? Happy?
Anyway, the article I sent you is just a discussion of the scientific method. I know we have this argument all the time, but anyway, have a read. Voice I have, it's fantastic. I actually have to go to get a train. I'll try and do it again tomorrow. I would really love to talk about actual stuff kind of openly without all the arguments, because I think what you guys do is interesting and it's fun.
And you've been a very good sport. You've been an excellent guest. Although I've given you a hard time, you've been a very, very good guest. So thank you very much.
No, what I really want to do is I really want to understand fully how you guys think stuff work. I want you guys to fully understand how I think stuff work without
It's easy, mate. Relative density, we both agree on. You claim there's an extra force, and we don't say there is because you can't prove it. And that's basically it in a nutshell. If you don't understand it, I don't really get how I can explain it further for you. Do you understand? Yes, great. Can we move on? Evidence, please.
Because this what I'm saying is that's sort of step one. There's also step two is about how. So this is what I'd like to talk about. I really have to go get my train. Is basically what happens at the microscopic and at the atomic level when you drop something. This is what I'm interested in.
Dude, what's it going to prove? Is it going to prove there's a force there pulling it down?
Maybe.
No, I'd say it's going to prove nothing because nobody can see the atomic level anyway, and it's going to be theoretical physics at best, and we don't want that. We want science.
So what? But like I said again, read the article about scientific method. All this other stuff we can discuss this later. I actually don't mind. But my whole point is, I think
nobody grill him any further.
It may show that there is something missing in the density buoyancy argument. That's what I'm hoping. But anyway, I have to
really.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry I took up so much of your time, everyone.
No, pleasure. Absolute pleasure having you. You've been a really great sport. Thank you very much for joining. I really do appreciate it.
Keep up the good work. I log in again when I can, but I have a day job and I shouldn't have been pissing around for the last 2 hours. So sorry, guys.
I appreciate it. I'm very grateful. Hopefully you'll join again. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Surprised you've got gratitude for a fraud, Nathan, to be honest.
Because he's joined and he's furthered the discussion. He's demonstrated whether or not he's a scientist is yet to be determined. But if nothing else, he's demonstrated his complete incompetence in regards to science and the scientific method.
Finally.
Blame scientists or otherwise. Hey, Arwin.
Man. Hi. Hey, I want to do a shout out to the Rumpus in chat. He's finally back. And hey,
retracted.
I'm gonna do it again. Shout out to the Rumpus. Hey, Riley, he just said he finally finished up the last 2% of that proof against your footage from last year. It only took him 9 months to get that last 2% done. So apparently he has it now.
Right, well, I've got the rebuttal ready for that. So whenever you're ready, Rumpus, you can come and present it, and I'll present my rebuttal immediately. So I've been ready for this for a long time, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too. Oh, I missed his utters.
It's all right. Sorry, I've got a correction immediately. Just read the Rumpus's comment. No, I have not finished the last 2%.
Oh my god. But he said he did.
An utter moron. How long does it take to bend a bit of light, Rumpus, and demonstrate it in a computer screen?
Oh god, he says he has to be done in a week.
That's priceless. He says, I hope to have it done.
You know they say
in
the
a
last
week.
2% is the hardest.
What's the excuse? Pound says he's had a cold. Have you had a
what's
cold?
the excuse, Rumpus?
Have you had a cold? Come on, if nothing else, Rumpus, play along and just say you've had a cold from the chat. It'll be funny. Come on, you must have a sense of humour.
Must have. I don't know how else he could survive. Being him and all.
Got a few comments. Lol, 2%.
All he's going to do is simulate how to bend light exceptionally beyond the barriers that allows it to be bent, because we don't have light that behaves like that in the atmosphere, but he has to simulate it. But I've already got the response ready for when he does it, and I've had it for a long time. So whenever you're ready, Rumpus, I'm ready and waiting for you.
Hey, Chris.
I got an important question. Sorry. So if if heliocentrism is a religion, are you guys being blasphemous right now?
No, because it's not God, is it?
So
That's
I'm
a matter
not
of
allowed.
perspective, Riley. Really?
So I'm
You
not
can only
allowed
you can only blaspheme God. You can't blaspheme any other religion. It's only God specifically.
Well, you blaspheme my son. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Helios, you know?
yeah.
That's
So
That big
blasphemy,
ball of
mate.
fire. If you deny it, that's actually a huge ball of fire, many times larger than the earth. You kind of are blaspheming.
the son created me. So can I shout blasphemy
Yeah.
every time you insult my son?
But then you
Son
may as well
created
shout
you?
something like, if you're going to chant something like that, you may as well chant like some kind of religious chant, like Alu Akbar. They do a lot of that chanting kind of stuff.
Nah.
You may as well chant that.
I don't.
That's
I don't think the sun is great. The sun is perfect. So
Well,
about
God
you
is
say
great.
every
If
time
you
you
give
say the
God,
sun, you say
righteousness
peace be
over the
upon him.
sun in some
So-
kind of biblical context,
Yeah, so,
religious context.
So Allahu Akbar doesn't work. The sun isn't great. It is perfect.
Oh,
Well, it's
Helios,
God.
Helios U Akbar.
But
Yeah, Helios Akbar.
The sun is greater than Earth or something.
yeah, it is
Greater
greater
than
than
you?
us all.
Than yours.
Helios Akbar. Yeah, you can do
Helios
that.
U Akbar.
Helios Akbar. Yeah, there you go.
That's it. That's the ticket. Hey, anybody watch Jaren last night? The 3 hours Jaren quoting scientists and physicists from the past. It was amazing. If you
No, I
missed
didn't see
it,
that. Which on
dude,
Jaronism?
on Jaranism live last night. He went for 3 hours, 3 hours, and I was able to listen to at least 90% of it. The rest I couldn't, so I have to re-listen to it again. But he literally went for 3 hours reading quotes from different physicists and scientists from the past, from from Maxwell to Einstein to Tesla to Poincaré, everybody, and regarding different things. Regarding the first section was like about gravity, and then it was about the multiverse, and then it was ether, and it was so perfectly concise, and it just went on and on and on and on and on, and it's amazing, and I want that in a paper form. So I'm gonna have to go and re-listen to it, and then find every quote in Google Doc, and then I'm gonna try to set up some sort of a dump where I can put all of these quotes with their Google Books link, so it's not just hearsay. But it's amazing. Just I'll paste the link on the chat right now.
Cool.
I was listening to some of it. He starts really late in the UK for us. So it's like, I think he starts at about 2 a.m. So by the time he finishes off, he's usually like 3, 4, 5 in the morning.
That's why I wanted to bring it to your attention, because it was absolutely fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah,
the first one
I
he
saw it
stated
too.
was brilliant.
Cinder again. Oh, by the way, guys, I have a special shout out to the world. And hashtag MIFA. Make Earth flat again. Hashtag MIFA. Spread the
Make
word.
Earth what?
Hashtag MIFA. Make Earth flat again.
It's already flat
It's
though.
a play on
I was
that.
gonna say,
I know. That's part of the joke.
I know,
okay.
I know.
Yeah, it was, is, and always will be flat.
Okay, the link is on the chat and the Google Hangout.
The Octagon says, make Arwin stupid again. Sorry. Sorry, dude. That's going to be difficult. What's this?
So I've just spammed that link to Jaren's video. So if you want to go and check out that, the link there for you to go and check it out.
Yeah, I gotta throw in on that. It was an awesome video, and Jaren really killed that, because it's kind of nonsensical to think all these big name scientists and even the little name scientists just can quote all these things that go against the very paradigm that we're taught is fact. It's just insane to me.
It was so great. Like the whole time I was listening, I had a big smile on my face.
Just in case anyone's listening to this and can't see what went into the chat, it's called quotes in quotes. What was it called? That tell us we have all been lied to live. So I'll just say that again. Quotes in quotes that tell us we have all been lied to, and that's by Jeranism.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the Not a Globe subreddit. I found it on there.
Nathan, I was watching in some of Red Pill Philosophy's comments. There are people that hadn't heard of you before that obviously are American, that were questioning whether or not you were a legit flat earther or not. You want to just address a quick message to them, telling them that you are a legit flat earther? They think that you might be controlled opposition. Don't know who you are.
So I didn't hear any of that. My kid was smiling on me. Say it again.
It doesn't matter. The moment's gone.
Who would think that? That's dumb.
Only people that are ignorant and didn't know.
I mean, one of my pet peeves is, you know, all of this back and forth from, I don't know who's, you know, Eric Dubé and Dell and Pete, shit, you know, all this inside, you know, oh, they're CIA and they're controlled op. I'm like, well, if they are, they're doing a terrible job because they're telling the truth, right? They're sharing. Like, why would you share flat Earth if you're a psyop? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that would make Nathan a horrible show.
Right.
Well, in the sense of Eric Dubé, he's trying to peddle creation. So that would be where his energy actually lies. So he would just hijack the flat Earth idea to do that.
Because Nathan is like the most Christian guy we know, right?
Yeah.
Well,
it's a me, Mario.
Okay.
Do you know what? I like how people are questioning whether I'm some kind of religious fundy just because I say there's more evidence for Noah's Ark than there is for gravity. Doesn't make me a fucking Christian or a fundy or a whatever just because I compare how little evidence you have against somewhat with somewhat biblical. I'm just pointing out the fact that your religion believes shit that's got more evidence against it, and there is an opposing religion or set of views or whatever you want to call it that actually does have a boat somewhere up in the mountains of Ararat that happens to match the size that the Bible tells you his ark was. So have a think about that for a bit, guys, because it's bad that there's more evidence for Noah's Ark than there is for gravity.
Right. It just makes you historically interested.
Yeah.
That's not religious. Just happens that that one book may contain some actual historical truth. And that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think you're a fundy or anything like that, sleeping warrior. I think you just stand under quantum eraser. So I think that's where you come from.
Fuck me, man. I know you keep saying that, but I don't know why you think that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with John on
They all do.
some of what he says.
Everybody on this panel uses Nathan's arguments and Quantum Eraser's arguments. I mean, everybody does. So.
Well, because a lot of the things that he says is right, except he's using the flat Earth truth he's hijacking the flat Earth to peddle creation.
Oh God!
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I agree with that. Fundamentalism, Christianity, yeah.
Because there's no indication whatsoever.
Let's talk about low-hanging fruit.
Get into this.
Whatever. Yeah, I just came here to smoke a bong, guys. Chill out.
Yeah.
Why don't you go smoke along with your friends on in Jem's Discord server? You know, the friendly, polite people.
Anthony. You're my only friend,
we know you don't have any friends, Tim.
I don't have any friends.
Nobody
guys.
likes you.
All I have is money is my friend.
Yeah, you know what you're actually doing?
Unfortunately, this is my opportunity to say a farewell to all of you who have joined us in the Nathan Oakley live stream. A massive thank you to all of you for commenting, sharing and subscribing and smashing the super chat. Sorry if I missed anybody smashing the super chat while my chat was not working. Be sure to check out the forum, nathanoakley.com, and join in with the community flat earth debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. If you're watching on Nathan Oakley 1980, be sure to stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!